What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Fancraft. It has been more than a while. So, I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a little bit for me. I'm hoping the music's not overpowering. Let me pull that back just a bit, just in case. I have had a incredible amount of computer changes. So I'm in my portable studio upstairs because my desktop has been co-opted by my lovely, beautiful, amazing, stupendous wife, and that is how I will refer to her. But I have lost my streaming rig, so I am actually here streaming on my laptop, which has been donated by my mother-in-law. Thank you. And it's about the only machine right now I have that can stream. So I'm wearing a headset, not the Yeti. So forgive me for sound issues and stuff, but we're going to do it. It's just been too long since I streamed. So I thought I'd show you guys what's going on. So again, I'm standing out here in front of the lovely X Mansion, which is I am still incredibly proud of this build. Um, I've worked very hard on it, getting all the clay for the bricks and stuff. I managed to finally get the fence done in brick the way I wanted. Um, just to give you guys a little bit of a taste of this. Again, everything in here is still pretty much the same as the last time I streamed, 3 or 4 months ago. So, but X-Men headquarters, here's the dining room, the TV room, etc. I'll show you guys I'll show you the upstairs after I show you the downstairs, so we have the professor's study, which is great. The map, which I'm always updated as I update my base. As you can see, there have been a lot of changes. My base is somewhat large now. And it's doing pretty great as far as farms go. But you know what? Let's take a second and let's put on my armor because I always forget and then I jump off something high and then I can't fly. So let's do this. So of course, the switch to get to the underground is always flower. And here we are. It's the X-Men corridor. Very similar to X-Men the movie. Um, so again, over here we have Cerebro, or not Cerebro. We have the Blackbird. I think I've gone in this. I've shown you guys this. So we have that built, and then I'll just go down here and show you guys off Cerebro. Danger Room is right here. Did a little work on that in the months off, and then of course Cerebro. Now, one of the things we did do is since I'm in charge of the server now, I've added a few mods, and one of them is mob heads. And so mob heads drop. So I decided that in here I would put a Professor X in the X-Men uniform, and he's monitoring another mutant in battle. So that's kind of like what I'm going on in here. All right. So, and as I mentioned previously, I have built multiple levels into this one, the underground this time. So obviously there's the danger room. I build a portal in here that you can only exit from. You can't arrive here because that would defeat the purpose. Briefing and war room. I think I showed this before as well. And then between the last time and now, I decided I still wanted one more level because everything I saw in the comics said that X-Men bases have 3 levels underneath. So I went ahead and built a third, and this one is kind of if the mansion got blown up, what would they need? Well, they would need a place to teach the students. So I set up a library down here. And then in here is a dormitory for men and women. So still haven't built a bathroom for yet, but I'm working on it. So and that's kind of it for the X Mansion. But again, I'll show you guys the new exit. One of my most proudest builds. I'm very happy with this build. And then the exit is you come over here if you want to get on the main floor. I built it into a clock in the corner of the dining room, it's kind of obvious, but I didn't like how it was before. And then I still have the secret entrance up top on the 3rd floor or on the 2nd floor inside the library where we can kind of get out. So that's working good. I have, the professor's study, etc., etc. So the X Mansion I couldn't be happier with. But let me show you what else I've been working on. So, before on Earth 2, the X Mansion was my primary base. I really didn't build too much off of it. I built the X Mansion and then I built like farms around it and stuff. This time I wanted to do something a little different. Taking kind of inspiration from a little bit of Bo, um, I wanted to build, my idea of home. It's really what it is. I wanted to have a home inside Minecraft. So what I did was I I built Rochester. Um, it started with one building, the one building I've always liked, which is the first federal building they used to call it. It had a restaurant on the top, and this has kind of become my mob farm. But then I decided that I really wanted to have, like, as you guys might remember, I had some farms over here and stuff. Um, I really didn't like how that was. I didn't like having the farm over here, the iron farm and all of that. So what I decided to do was, I made two skyscrapers. Well, I've made more than that, but I haven't decided what I'm doing with these other two yet. One skyscraper is going to be designed for um, kind of naturalistic resources, dyes and that sort of thing, lava, etc. And then the other one is going to be for various various other resources, but more like that you would get from mobs and things of that nature. So um, I built this here. I forget what this building's called. I think it was the Marine Midland building when I lived in Rochester, but it's something else now. And basically, it's now my wool farm. I completely moved my wool farm over here, and we'll show you what that's like, complete with the item sorter. And I have obviously built other farms. And so let's show you that. So you might remember the last time I did a stream, my basalt farm was just sitting out in the open. Well, I moved that in here. I thought that this was a cool way to kind of put it together. So I moved it up here. I've shown you guys this before. It's pretty much self. So it's self-motivating. What you do is you turn it on. The water and the lava interact on top of that, and then the pistons are timed to push them out over there. It'll come to this observer and then push it forward. So I can get up to 12 rows of basalt before I have to go and clean it out. So, and that's worked fantastic. It's how I actually paved the roads inside of what I call Williamsburg. I should have called it New Rochester, but what are you going to do? So, so that's on this floor. The next floor up is my cactus farm. So I moved that into here from where it was before. Oh, it was in the old Four Freedoms Plaza, which I took down because I built one in Central City. And then I moved. At one point, Four Freedoms Plaza I had my sheep farm, so I moved it into here. So it's doing everything it needs to do, working obviously as well as it can. And then, as you might be able to tell above that, I put my beehives. So, and this is a monster. It's too many beehives actually. And then I finally have the sniffer farm. So where I'm just getting all the sniffer stuff. So that's kind of what this building was designed to do. This building is designed for these kind of interactive farms a little bit, not so much AFK. I mean the sheep farm's a little AFK. But everything else kind of requires you to be a little bit interactive. So, and then I realized that I really didn't want to put them all into one building. And I really have always loved the Xerox Dark Tower in Rochester. So I built that. And this is kind of my more AFK-ish, more resources, more day-to-day type of stuff. So when crafting type resources. Um, so, let me show you here. So I've got first, this is my dye farm. I moved it here. Obviously, it's built very similar to the one I had on Earth 3. I moved some earth, dropped some bone meal. It makes flowers. And then the rail car goes through, grabs them, drops them in the container. Bada bang, bada boom. Very simple, very, very worthwhile. It's helped me make all the concrete I needed. Then up on this floor, since I destroyed First Freedom Plaza, I had to move my lava farm. So I moved my lava farm here, using all the lava I had in there, and then expanding it a little bit. I now want for no lava. I don't know if you guys hear that water, so let me fix that real quick. That is 100% my cow farm, and boy, is it just annoying. So let's bring the mains down a little bit. How about that? There we go. So what you do when you're streaming. So and then on this floor, I kind of built my chicken and cow farms. This is gonna be my food farm area. I'm gonna build some other stuff up here, maybe a few vegetable farms, etc. But these are built very similar. Up here, you feed the cows, they make the baby cows. I can demonstrate. So I'll go up here. It's rather inelegant. I like it though because it does what it needs to do, and I now have all the meat I can ever handle. And I feed a couple of cows. They fall madly in love, make baby cows. See, so there's some baby cows there. Then I'll come down here and I can feed the baby cows. And as you can see, the lava dispenser is above where the baby cows are. So what I can do is I can feed cows until I get a few a few grown-ups. And sometimes you got to move around. You got to kind of, it's not the most elegant design I've seen. Well, and then you get the idea. So I make them grow up and then I burn them. Now the baby cows don't die because they're below the lava. You got to do it twice to get the cow to die. Cow dies, drops everything, and I'll show you my collection system below. This chicken farm is very similar in idea. So there should be some eggs in here. There are. You, I make baby chickens. So I'm just throwing some eggs across the board. Now there's no way to make a baby chicken grow, I don't believe, that will not allow it to escape. So you just kind of, or I don't think there's any way to make them grow anyway. So I just basically sit out here and I'll make like 10 or 12, and then I'll be in the general farm area and they will grow themselves, and then I'll come over here and do a very similar thing that I did above, which is, you push the button and lava and cooks the chickens. So they all die, and then yeah, I'll go down. I built a water elevator because boy was that annoying. And then everything comes down here to like the collection level. So down here is my dyes. Over here is the food from the third floor. So I do get some chicken heads occasionally. But I got a lot of chicken, a lot of beef. Let's fill up on beef actually. Let's do that. And then so that's kind of what I'm doing here. So the skyscrapers in this town in Williamsburg are 100% designed for farming. So, and again, my mob farm is doing pretty great, gangbuster. Um, I haven't decided what I'm doing with the courthouse yet, what I'm going to put in there. Some of it was just me building things to build them. So, as long as that's not overfull. So as you can see here, I've kind of fixed the design of the courthouse a little bit, made it look a little better. Um, obviously we now have a courtroom, etc. So if we ever have a Fancraft court case we need, hey, we're good to go. And then what I did was I really liked what I did last season with building my homes. Um, and I got to be honest with you, I'm turning 50 at Christmas. So, you know what? I wanted to go home. So I did. And I went ahead and rebuilt the house I had on Earth 3. That was my childhood home. A little bit better this time, but that's kind of it. Um, 220 Pleasant, which was my address from when I was a kid. Very similar to the old build. The living room here, my parents' dining room, my parents' kitchen. My dad really got a kick out of this when I showed him when he was here. My sister's room full of bees. There's a story there. My parents' room, and then as I mentioned last year, I I didn't have an exit out of my room. My exit was my parents' room or my sister's room. So when I was a little kid, I would go through my sister's room. And then as I got older and realized how inappropriate that was, I went through my parents' room and I saw some things that I need therapy for. And I'm still getting therapy, but you never want to go through your parents' room. So um so yeah, I rebuilt my parents' home and I loved it. But then I had another home growing up, and I think a lot of people do. Um I missed my grandparents' home. My maternal grandmother's house was a second home to me growing up until she passed in 91, and I really wanted to go home again. So I rebuilt 162 Hampton, which is it was my grandparents' home. It was their home until my grandmother died. It was, she raised 7 kids in this home. She Yeah, it was awesome. So I'll take you guys on a tour of this. We'll start with my grandfather's garage. So my grandfather's garage here. I'll put a car in here eventually. During the holidays, I'll put a bar because that's what was in here in the holidays was bar. Um, he had a wood burning stove which he burned oil and tires and 1,000 other things. I still think the EPA has a majorly large file on him. Um, Out of the garage, you would come into what we call the breezeway. This was an add-on that they did to join the garage to the house. And then my grandmother's kitchen, which is recreated as best I could. Um, Kind of how I remember she had a pantry right here, then a bunch of cupboards. This cupboard was where the cookies were. I'll be making cookies to put in there because that's appropriate. Refrigerator was here, freezer was here, stove was over here, kitchen sink, her closet slash coat closet there. Come out in here and it's the living room. This was yeah, it was awesome. Um, there was always a fireplace. They always had a deer head mounted up there with a red nose at Christmas because my grandfather would tell us he shot Rudolph. Again, therapy. So, the living room here with the television, small bathroom, the organ that they had, and chairs. And then we'd go upstairs, and it was what you would expect. Here's my aunt's room, the bathroom, spare room, and my grandparents' bedroom. And again, I know it's kind of weird, but it's just I wanted to visit my grandparents' house, so I rebuilt it, which I think is one of the coolest things about Minecraft is doing stuff like this. So, I'm going to mention it to the other Minecrafters. I think, or fan crafters, man, we should all be building our houses, man, childhood homes and stuff. And then, he always had this basement that was unfinished. Obviously, that's not to scale. Come out the backyard, and they always had this above ground square rectangle pool, I should say, from like 1976 with the blue siding and the white. But it was so much my childhood, like you had to have the pool. So I added that here. And that's really kind of what it was for. So, oh, what did you move? Don't ruin my build, man. What are you doing? What are you doing? Come here. Give me your pearl. Come on, give me your pearl. Give me your pearl. I want your pill. Yeah, come on. Come on, bring it, monkey. Come on. Come on. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Yeah, you didn't do nothing. Oh, you hit me, you little jerk. All right. So, oh, it's coming to be night. And then um I finally built the Green Lantern because again, you should have one. I think I'm gonna build the others too, around the Green Lantern over there. I may move the Green Lantern because I think once I built the first one, I'm like, it would be kind of cool to have all of them. So I may move that somewhere else in the city here. But I mean, the thinking for me is that I wanted to build the Rochester skyline as best I could. So I built these other 2 buildings that I haven't decided what to do with yet. This here is called the old Bausch and Lomb building because Bausch and Lomb used to be in it. I always loved the architecture of that and the way it's kind of not symmetrical at all. Um, so, and then there was the Times Union building, is what they called it, and or Times Square building, and it has these really 4 cool blades on the top that I wanted to try to recreate. I'm not sure what I'm gonna put in either of these buildings, and I don't think I'm done with the skyline yet. There's some other buildings I may wanna try to do because we have a long season here, so and then I went ahead and redesigned my nether portal because it the other one looked lame, and I wanted to do this. I found this online. I forget who the person is, so I can cite them, but it's basically, I built the area around it. I kinda like the idea of it going into some sort of sheath, and so we could be protected at night, like this. So and it's kinda cool. It does what I need it to do. So, and then, let's go ahead and let's get you over to Central City. Now, I what oh, wait, one more thing. I'll show my home. So I also did rebuild the house I'm currently living in. So, again, we had that on Earth 3 as well. And again, I wanted to have my home. So, I'm not sure what I'm gonna put over here. I flattened all this out. I made room for some more buildings. And then here's my house where I currently live, including the U-shaped driveway. So this is my home. My wife's studio is right here where she gives voice lessons. The bathroom right here, complete with the hot water heater. Um, yeah. My nephew's bedroom. This is where he lives now. This was my wife's old office, but we actually moved her office out into the studio when my nephew moved in, so that's why it's over here. She has her office right there. Obviously, my son's room with his cat Scooter on the bed. I cannot tell you how long it took me to breed cats that look like my cats. That took some work. This here obviously is Doodlebug, which is my wife's cat. Naughty, who likes to sleep in our room. This is our bedroom. Actually, this right here, if you want to imagine anything, is what I'm looking right now. This is where I'm sitting, and I'm sitting here right now. This is how I'm looking at it. So, yo, Phantom Star, how you doing, buddy? Phantom's G Star, sorry. So we are going now, and yeah. So the rest of my house again. This is our kitchen. It's built pretty faithfully. Here's how my living room looks. My current office setup as it is downstairs, which is where I work all day, and then my son's room over here. So, oh, I'm kneeling, that's why. And then his cat Tyrion. So, this has kind of been an awesome little project is building my houses. I may build a few more. Believe it or not, I lived in a mobile home for about a year and a half when I was 5. Um, I don't think I would build anything like I lived before I moved out here, like in my first marriage or anything like that, just because it's a little awkward and plus, you know, these are the homes that really impacted me growing up as my childhood. It was my grandmother's home and my home in 220 Pleasant. It just was what was. So I'm very happy with my base. I think my base is turning into this really elegant, somewhat large but not overbearing place where I'm pretty much getting all the resources I need right now. Um, I'll I'll tell you something. I'll show you this. So I'm starting to get some nether stars because I was doing some bombing and some mining and stuff away from my base, and I was down pretty low. And I got it in my head that my friend Knight already had a nether star thing built in in the end. And so I thought to myself, do I have to do it in just the end, or can I build it, you know, with the lower thing now, they also extended it to I think what is it, 5 layers deep? One, two, three, yeah. So one, two, three, four, five, yeah. So they extended things 5 layers deep. So I started blowing things up and I found this area. What I was looking for was an area I could put the four together and then a good chunk of of five, and as far as I know, and I have no other way of knowing, um, that and it works. Did try a few different places and I think there was a few hollow ones in here, but this looked really good. And let me show you this. So I basically made my own farm in the overworld. And again, you have to be very selective about where you put things. You have to, um, you can and be prepared to die, which I was. So I discovered this area. what I do is I come over here and I basically build a um, sorry, I build it's not the warden. Darn it. Well, it's going to tell me in a minute. Wither. I build a wither right here. He's going to spawn in there and he can't get out. So he dies in there. I stand behind this little thing and pretty much I can even go if I wanted to down here. And okay, so sometimes you do get hit, and if I get hit, you don't want to play too long because then you're definitely going to die. But I pretty much, if you watch, the wither is just dying behind there. So I could sit over here and help along, though. I can shoot down there. Okay, so now I hope I don't die. That would suck. This would be very embarrassing. Oh, there we go. I'm not going to go down there because I mean one hit and I'm dead. But it's my it's my star farm. Works like a champion. Um, I have to keep going back to the Nether and getting wither skeleton heads. Um, so I'm gonna build a farm in the Nether at some point for that because I keep dying a lot. But pretty much I go get with I'm down to my what am I down to? 56. So I had a stack the last time I went. So and it took me a few hours. It took me a few deaths. But I got them. Okay, I think I should be good now. There we go. Grab everything and run. Run behind the wall. Hide behind the wall. Boom. Go down and look, there's another star. So this has kind of been fantastic for me. It's been a real useful way of doing things. Um, I'm enjoying it. So it's nice to have that farm. Again, if you're going to do it, the trick is you have to go down to the bare bones. You're gonna have to clear a lot of things. It's also how I got a lot of my building materials for my city was I just started, building tunnels. And then I also built a train tunnel. So but I had more than enough gunpowder because of my farms. So I moved my farms up to here. I don't think I've shown you guys this either. I moved my villager farm up to here because, again, my villagers were becoming expensive again. So I moved the iron farm and the villager farm up here, alongside my creeper farm and my mob farm for tridents and stuff. I guess they call it a drown farm, and it's my ink farm really. So yeah, and that's again been doing well. This is probably the best base I have built yet. I'm very, very happy. Um, I really built it with resources in mind as far as finding building a base to help me build the resources I need. So, build the farms I need to build more resources. So let's go take one last look here real quick. We'll go to Central City. Um, I'll show you guys what's going on there. There's a lot of great stuff going on with the things we built. Oh yeah, it's the main Nether hub. So let's go down here. Well, actually, you know what? Let's go to Marvel Town. Let's show you guys a little bit of what Fox is doing and what Bo has done. So this is it's the inside. So welcome to Fox has really done a great job on the Sanctum. He built the Sanctum Sanctorum all by himself. I mean, we all kind of helped with some resources, but I think that is a phenomenal build. Um, Looks really great, especially next to Avengers Tower, which you guys have seen on previous streams. Um, Obviously there's my Fantastic Four Freedoms Plaza, which is selling Nether and stuff. I did start just selling my. I wonder if anybody's even noticed yet. I did start selling Nether stars, with 10 diamonds each. We'll see how that goes. Um, so yeah, I took like the first 5 I got out of my stack of heads, and then yeah, over here we're doing really good as far as Star Wars Town. I'll show off a little bit of that because we got some great builds over there. I still love Avengers Tower. But let's go take a nap because we don't want anybody killing us. And I want to check my bookstore anyway. Doesn't look like I've sold any books in the last couple of days. I know Fox or Bo bought some recently because there was some diamonds, but no diamonds. And as far as I can tell, no books missing. This I love. The fact that I can kind of tell when books have been taken. It's so much nicer because there should be a 1-for-1 correlation to spaces in the bookstore and diamonds in my chest. So, and I've tried really hard to keep that up. I don't think I've shown you guys this yet. I had a very big hand in building the post office, but we've revitalized the dome, the nether portal area. I built the post office, and I built it kind of off Bo's old design, but with a twist. So you put mail up in here, as you can see. Will put mail here. So somebody puts mail in, and it lights my light. So if I'm walking around, I'll see my light up here. Instead of having to go all the way down here and then see my light, pull my stuff out, boom, light turns on. Pretty simple. I did want to build a combination lock doors, but it just was so much. It was going to be too much effort. Um, and most people are cool. So the other thing I did was I did rebuild the ATST by popular demand / request. Because people were like, "Why'd you tear the ATST down?" So I rebuilt it a little better. I think I did it. I wasn't very proud of the first design. I'm not gonna lie. This one I think is much more kind of screen accurate. Definitely gets the point across. And instead of selling the potions, which the other one was, or no, that the other one was selling like the stuff I was getting from the raid farm. What I've decided to sell in here is because I have so much honey from the bees, and with all the blowing up and down low I had to do, I had a ton of slime. So yeah, I just put together a slime store and a honey store up here. Diamond a stack, no big deal. Um, I try really hard to keep everything around a diamond, except for the really big stuff. And then what I did here was I did build like so I could just drop because I don't like it keying. And then this is the big build that we're working on for this next part, and that is the Jedi Temple. We have all kind of put some time in on this. We've all made a ton of end runs to get all that brick, which, oh my gosh, did that take a lot? I had to go out about 20,000 at some point. Start hitting places that had elytra as well as had bricks. I really wanted to go elytra shopping too. So part of me wants to reset the end because with a build like this and all the elytra, it feels like it's getting to the point now where I just don't want somebody to die, because they're just trying to get resources to function. Like elytra is a very necessary thing here on this world. And I don't know. I got to talk to the other fan crafters because there are ways we can reset the end so that village, the cities respawn and they have elytra in them and they have gear and stuff. So I know Bo's resistant to that, so I'm not gonna do it without talking to people first. And then yeah, we're gonna come back into Williamsburg. So that's kind of what's going on, man. That's what I've been working on for like the last couple of months. This is by far is my major project for me. It's not done yet. I'm still not happy with the courthouse design. I think I may end up blowing that away. Um, because I just don't like it. Oh darn. I'm not a real big fan of it. I did it to kind of have it to say like, hey, I'm building a city. We should probably have a courthouse, but it just doesn't. it doesn't fit. I mean, the Rochester skyline is not the reason I wanted to build, the buildings from Rochester is really about the fact that it's one of the most diverse skylines in the upstate New York area. So, I mean, Syracuse doesn't really have a skyline. Albany has Albany University, the University of Albany. They've got some buildings, but even Albany has a lot of old buildings that they can't tear down because they've been there since colonial times. So Rochester had thriving industry going into the 70s and the 80s, and they built all these great, great buildings. And I just thought, you know what? And maybe part of it is I'm homesick a little. So I thought about, I wanted to build farms that looked like places I knew, and I wanted to see if I could do it. So that's going to be my next, I'm going to, I got to I got to put farms in the other two buildings. I'm pretty much of the mind right now, because I mean, I could show you the inside of these. These are not, I mean, especially this one, it's just not, there's nothing in here yet. I have no idea what I'm putting in here yet. Um, here I kind of took the time to at least build floors. And I might just turn this into an office building to show off, like be like, yeah, look, see, we have an office building. But yeah, I'm kind of running out of reasons to have buildings this tall, but I also kind of I want to build the Rochester skyline. What can I say? So, and then yes, my horse, my stables here. A lot of horses. Horses spawn here a lot. For a while there, we were getting a ton of Skelly horses, but also just horses in general were spawning here quite a bit. Um, and I've been only keeping the fastest ones because why wouldn't I? So if I find one that's slower than like the slowest one in my, or slower than my slowest horse in my thing, if one spawns, I'll ride it and see if it's fast. If it's fast, I'll go kill my slowest one, and I'm trying to see if any will spawn here. Because they spawn in like right around here. Oh, see? Look at this. Usually these horses here are fast. So apparently I already own that horse. Do I have any saddles? Interesting. Oh boy. Is he gonna turn into? Yep. Yeah, I don't even want to deal with these guys. I don't need I don't need skelly horses no more. All right. I was like, wait, why would there be one over here? Usually when I see them, I grab them. But that would be why. Do we get anything good? Because I'll drop the wool. Well, it's horse skull. Not bad. That's better. Always keep a spare bow. All right, so let's go ahead and end our tour here right where we started. Let's go ahead and head back to the X Mansion. So, yeah, originally I was going to try to build like a mock-up of Salem Center, and I wanted to build Rochester. So I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep building some buildings. I think the next one I'm going to build might be the Hyatt, or it could actually be some other ones. But I'm just excited. Why are there so many bees? Do I have a hive? Oh, the hive is over there. That's right. So, but here we are in the X Mansion. Let's go. We'll hang out with the prof here. And yeah, again, I'm very, very proud of my entire build this time. I really think I've done very well with what we're supposed to be doing. So let's go talk to the prof. We'll end our tour here. Oh, you know what? Actually, let me show you that. We'll go to the Blackbird actually, because I also want to go drop stuff off. So we'll go back to the Blackbird. We'll take a look. The hangar bay. I still like the Blackbird. The fact we can get into it. Yeah, I'll just drop some of this stuff off in the Blackbird. Blackbird's kind of become my dumping ground. So I'll throw things in there that I don't really know what to do with, like, chains. I picked those up somewhere. Heads, ink, coal. There. But yeah, that's kind of it. So, and then I don't know if I showed you this, but I finally did build I did build a locker room of X-Men uniforms. I grabbed some black leather and dyed it, and then put the armor things on it to make it do weird stuff. And I thought that's as close as we can get to X-Men uniforms. So, but on that note, this is your favorite X-Men. I'm gonna head on out. Have a good night. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think. Please click like. Bye bye now.